Entex Stargate from the arcade to the home in a tabletop electronic game format. VFD display. I love VFD displays. They're so awesome. Now this came out around 1982 and it retailed originally for $49.99, which is $136.25 in today's money, 2021. That was a lot of money back then, so not too many people that I knew got one of these for Christmas. I didn't get one. I had a friend that did have one. He used to like playing it. It's a really good sequel to Defender. Even the Entex Defender is outstanding. And this was a great little sequel they put to that in a tabletop VFD format. These things were all over the place back in the 80s. There was a lot of arcade translations to home tabletop consoles like this with VFD displays. And I absolutely just love collecting. I got quite a few of them. But Entex did a really good job with this. Not bad. I wish I had the box for this. The box is pretty cool, but this is a unboxed one. Don't have the instructions either. The instruction manual looks kind of nice. It's black and white and describes all the controls on the very front page, which, you know, it's really nice. This was donated to the show by Ed Kelly from Ed Ladden Controllers. I really appreciate the donation, Ed. It's really awesome. It looks almost brand new. Everything is nice and pristine on this. I'm pretty happy to have this in the collection. So let's take a close look at the controls. So right here we have our on, off, and mute switch. We can play the game in silence. We have our skill level select, 1 or 2. Then we have the number of players, 1 player, 2 player, or you can put it in demo mode and let the game play by itself. That is awesome. Then we have our joystick control here. It only controls up and down. We have our reverser button, so we can flip around on the screen to go the opposite way. I kind of wish they would just made the joystick do that instead of having a button for it. Then we have the smart bomb, destroy everything on the screen. Our thrust button, the fire button, and the invisible button to give you invisibility while you're fighting the enemies. That comes in real handy when you get a lot of stuff on the screen, especially when you go in outer space, when they all go nuts out there in outer space. Looking at a little bit better on the front here. Really nice artwork for the marquee. I like the detail around the display. Has a kind of red tinted bezel on it. And of course on the back we have the speaker, which is right there. We have a port for external power, and we have a port for headsets, for headphones. Now when you plug headphones into this, it's not going to be stereo, it's only going to be on one ear. And it's pretty loud, but it's kind of neat they gave the option where if you want to hear the sound effects and play this game in silence to keep from annoying your parents or your significant other, comes in handy. And also down here we have the instructions, some abridged instructions for the gameplay, the Entex marking when it was manufactured and what year, have our battery compartment, 4C batteries, and then up on the front, just like Defender, we have a game speed control. We turn all the way down, the game goes nice and slow. We turn all the way up, and the game just flies past, just like their Defender tabletop. Pretty cool. It's a nice looking tabletop arcade machine. I don't see these very often out in my travels. Last one I saw, I can't remember where I was at. I think about a year ago or so. I saw it at an antique store and they wanted 80 bucks for it, loose. I'd love to get a box for this. Most of the other Entex ones I have boxes for. This is one of the few I don't. But anyway, let's zoom in on the screen. Give the game a try. Alright, let's turn it on. I got it set for skill level 1, 1 player. I got the speed control set all the way down to the slowest speed to try to make it easy on me. This will be a lot of fun trying to play this through the viewfinder. Hit the thrust button to start. Oh, this is cool. No. Ooh, almost got my guy. Hit the reverse button to flip directions. back the other way. Oh! Hit the thrust button. Going to Stargate. Yay! I ain't gonna take my... Oh no! I killed all my guys, so now I'm in space. Hit the bomb! Oh yeah, took them all out. Oh, and I crashed. Thrust! Bomb him! Hit the Aviso. I'm invisible. Bomb them all, I'm invisible. Oh! Oh, man. Even on slow, I can't play this game. Bomb y'all. It's a bummer that the bomb sound and the explosion sound when you get killed are the same because it's sometimes confusing. It's like, did I hit the bomb? Did I die? Why can't I hit that shit? Whoa, 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 whoa! Ah! The mutant got me. So now let's do the speed up button here. We'll crank the game speed up all the way. You see it scrolls much faster now. Woo, buddy! So let's slow it down. So I just hit the slow down button. Now what's cool is you can hold the fire button down and it'll keep firing. Which really makes it nice. You don't keep hitting the button. Stargate! Oh! I mean, this is a really good translation of the arcade game to a VFD display. Entex did a really good job. I mean, I love the Defender one they did. This one is another one of my favorites to play from Entex. So cool. Let's check out the demo mode. So for the demo mode, you got to hold down the Inviso button and put it to demo mode when you turn it on. So turn it off, turn it on. Activates the demo mode. It goes through all the VFD displays to check them. Man, those things are bright. And then the game will play itself in a demo mode. It's kind of cool. You put it on mute, hook it up to a power supply, and just let this thing run on your desktop while you're working. It's kind of cool. Well, at least it's nice to see the computer's just as bad as I am. Alright, let's get some final thoughts on this. Overall, I really like this little tabletop VFD game. I want to thank Ed from Enlightened Controllers for donating this to the show. I'm really happy to have this in my collection. It's actually a pretty fun game. It's very challenging with all the buttons to try to remember and coordinate, but it's still a very enjoyable game in its own right. If you love VFD games, especially these vintage electronic games, this is one you may want to think about adding to your collection. You know, I like that it has a headphone jack. And I've always loved the demo modes that Entex usually put into their tabletop games. Allows you to set them up and let them play while you're doing other things. It's kind of a neat little thing to have sitting on your desk where you're working on something else and glance over and see the game actually running. Makes it great for displays for like when I'm doing shows and things like that. You can set a bunch of these up, put them in demo mode, and let them play all in a row by themselves. It makes a really cool looking display when you do that at electronics game show, electronic gaming convention or something like that. But anyway, this is Stargate from Entex. A really good translation of the arcade game to a home electronic tabletop game. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend. Thanks for watching.